Kiefer at 7:48, Bixby coming in at 8:01, and then that'll continue off to the east, northeast. So there's a chance it could be around the St. Francis area to La Fortune Park. But here's the biggest thing is that we want you to make sure that you're just aware that this is right now just on the southwest sides of Glenpool and Kiefer. And so there's a pretty good indication that this is a very tight rotation that has picked up. And we've been watching it here for a little while, for about the last 10 to 15 minutes, and really started to pop up considerably across this area. So let's take again a closer look at what's going on. And as you look at the latest, I'll get out of the picture here a little bit so you can see. This is the tornado warned area that you see it in this red polygon. And so the circulation feature now at 176. And so that's about 176 to 191st. And it doesn't look like it, but we'll look at velocities here in just a minute again. But this gives you a pretty good idea of what we're talking about is right in this zone is where it is moving to the east-northeast. And so that's going to be popping it right on up into areas around 75 and 151st Street. So that'd be a kind of a hit right into the Glenpool area. So if you are in these areas, we need you to go ahead and take the precautions that we always talk about. Make sure you move to the center part of your home, get away from the outside windows and walls, and it doesn't have to be just a mad rush, but if you are in an area that is around anywhere from Old Highway 75, so if you are in this area, you do need to be definitely taking cover right now because this is a fairly intense part of the storm. Is it a terrible storm? No, but it is rotating and we could have a tornado or strong damaging winds out of this at any given moment right now. So this is now up to 171st. You just saw our latest update. Those come in as we're looking at it every 30 seconds to a minute. So 171st Street, Highway 75, and again this is old Highway 75, alternate 75. That's what we name it many times. And so that will be just from Kiefer to the south. So any place in Kiefer, we need you to be moving to a place of safety at this particular moment as that continues to track to the northeast. And at the current projection, that will be hitting Kiefer and areas south of Kiefer. So if you're at 171st on up to about 141st to 131st, we need you to be making sure that you're moving to a safer location. Also with this will be the potential for strong damaging winds. Right now we're estimating probably around 60 to 80 mile per hour winds with this. And so that'll be wrapped up right in this zone. And Stacia's got us another update now, 7:50 for Glenpool. And so that's 2 minutes faster than what we just said just a few moments ago. And then around the ORU area by 8 o'clock. So this is continuing to move to the northeast. Here's the Glenpool area, 75, 151st Street that goes on into the Kiefer area, and we're just south of that at this particular moment. So that will continue. Also, we are looking with the storm itself. This is on the south side of the Tulsa storm that is also very heavy at this moment. So you can see where Brandon is located, taking this main part of the storm in. We do have a hail core associated with this cell that's down around the Mounds area. And then we also have the hail cores that are down in downtown Tulsa area. But as we continue to focus on the main part of this storm, entire Tulsa County is under a severe thunderstorm warning as well. So that means strong winds of 60 miles per hour or more. And then also now we have an embedded area with a rotation that could possibly become a tornado or is a tornado. We don't have guys right in that immediate spot. Dells were just a little bit to the north. And so is he positioning?
Yeah, he's on the Creek Turnpike.
Creek Turnpike, so just, okay, so he's just in an area. Okay, so just looking back into it. Hey, and then as well as Dell, can he talk to us for a second and see if, I know it's rain, embedded in rain at this point. Dell, if you can you go ahead and give me an update on what you're seeing?
Yeah, Travis, we just got off the Creek Turnpike on Memorial. We're going to start looking back to the south, and you're right. Right now it's rain, but we're hoping as we drift a little bit further south, we're going to get a little bit of residual, and as soon as we see something, we'll ship right back to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. So that's the latest of what's going on right in this zone. And again, the circulation feature is not exceptionally tight, but it's tight enough that the National Weather Service also thought that it was something that we have to really watch. So therefore the tornado warning, because it is rotating. So that means the storm, as it rises, the air is rotating around, and so that creates a spinning mechanism, and so that air is getting sucked up from the surface, and so we can have a small tornado come out of this around 171st to 161st, just barely on the south and east sides right now of Kiefer, and so that is continuing to track It looks like we're going to cross pretty much 33rd West Avenue, 151st Street, and then going into the Glenpool area. So if you're around Glenpool, we do need you to move to a place of safety right now. The potential for at least wind damage is high. The potential for a tornado, it's there because it's a tornado warning. But right now we're just watching it from a radar's perspective because we have so much rain, and unless we're literally right underneath it, we're not going to be able to see it as well. So this is what's happening right now. If you're just joining us, tornado warning has been issued for southern Tulsa County.
There are sirens going off near Memorial in Tulsa.
Sirens going off in South Memorial?
Yeah.
Okay. And that will be also tracking to the north and east. So let's widen up just a little bit on this. And so from 161st to 171st, this is the track in southern Tulsa County. So Jinx is on the pretty much the northern side of the track, and then along County Line on the south side to Mounds to just north of Hectorville, and then it goes to Bixby, and then into southern portions of Tulsa potentially, and definitely in the northern side of Bixby, north of the river. So this is the current track of what could be a small tornado that would be moving through this area. Wind damage potential is pretty high at this moment. So if you are, again, just joining us around the Glenpool area to Kiefer, you need to be in a safe place right now, moving away from outside windows and walls. And so you just put yourself in a safer place. You can wrap yourself up into a blanket if you want to, and also helmets, we always say. Stacia mentions it a lot of times. Make sure you have your shoes and anything else that you might need in case there would be some broken glass. The good news is this is as this storm is moving to the east, though it is going to be rapidly moving out. So there's a little bit of good news there. And the circulation feature continues to be very evident in here. Latest storm track times now. Glenpool is currently moving in on Glenpool at this moment, and then around the St. Francis area by 8:04. And then also towards the Union High School, we're giving you points of reference. That should be coming up around 8:05. So right now it's on the south side of Glenpool and right around 151st Street. So that's at the intersection of Highway 75 and 151st. And so that is where the strongest winds are. And you can see it's kind of a wispy look to it. And so this is the good news is from our radar perspective, it is a little bit, it's not as strong, we'll put it, as most normal tornado situations would be. It's still, though, a rotating zone now that's continuing to move. So now we're moving to around South Elm, and then that's also going to be headed on over to Harvard and to around the Yale area. So if you are in this area of South Glenpool or Glenpool to the south, so any place in Glenpool, if you're just joining us, go ahead and take cover right now to be on the safe side, away from outside windows and walls. And I know I'm repeating, but a lot of folks join us as it's starting to move across the area of 151st. So if you are in this zone, we do want you to be exceptionally careful, and that will continue now to track right on up to around 141st, it looks like, and Lewis, and then that will continue, and we're going with the core area right now. And if you're on the north side of that from 111th Street, or if you're on the south side around 181st to 191st, you still want to be very much aware of this storm as it's moving up across the region. So this is now Glenpool to the southeast, and if you're in this area, this is where we want you to be very much preparing for moving to a place of safety. If you haven't already, you need to do so just to be on the safe side. Winds would be estimated right now on radar at 70, possibly up to 80 miles per hour. And that will continue to track as it goes on over toward the Hakey Creek area. Hail core is associated with that as well. So these are the things that we're watching very closely as it moves across the areas from around the Glenpool. And then also we're getting some development in advance of it. So this is how we can kind of see the spinning mechanism going on right in here. Notice what's happening right in there. So the core of it now is east side of Glenpool. So this is the core just on the east side of Glenpool on 151st. Literally right at 151st and Peoria, and then extending on over to Lewis, and that'll be on over to Harvard. So that is a update. So that is rapidly moving, as Stacia just mentioned, about 40 miles per hour. So that's making pretty good headway off to the east-northeast. So that'll continue now. And so at this point, any place around Lewis, and then also to Harvard, this is where the storm is right now. So you need to be in a safe place. If you are around Kiefer, you're on the backside of the storm system, so that's already, the worst part has already passed you by. But if you are just in the leading edge of this now from 131st down to 171st, you need to be taking cover. Let's go back to the live radar if we could for just a moment and take a look at what's going on right in this area. Same thing is happening. So again, the circulation feature And the pivot point for this axis is right to the east side of Glenpool. And that is, looks like we're going to have it just barely on 75, or I shouldn't say 75, excuse me, 151st Street, east of Highway 75. And then that's just starting to curve and go on the north side of 151st Street. So this will be on the due east side of Glenpool, around the Peoria area to Lewis to Harvard. And that is the area that is circulating right now. Again, the circulation feature with this continues to be strong enough that we could have a potential for a tornado or some wind damage. The good news is it's not a massive, terrible tornado, if it is a tornado, but we are anticipating that this is going to continue to be strong enough that it could do some damage. Here's the latest update. So in Bixby coming up at 7:58, we're at 7:55. So just a few minutes here, and it'll be in the Bixby area. In fact, it's already basically on the Bixby, on the school, the brand new school that's on 151st Street now, Peoria. So we want you to be careful.
We also have wind gusts of 45 to 50 through downtown Tulsa.
Okay. As the storm system to the north, a severe thunderstorm is in the Tulsa County area as well. 45 to 50 mile an hour winds have been reported through downtown and to the east. So that storm is still going strong there. But you can make out this small little piece of pie looking right in here. But that's a pivoting area, and that's our rotating part of the storm. And Dell should be getting pretty close to that. And Ron is, I see Ron here as well. So we've had our guys positioning for the storms as they were coming across the east side of Tulsa. But at this point, let's go and talk to Dale. Are you available right now to talk to for a second? What do you have? What do you see?
Yeah, Travis, right now we are looking back. We're pulling into Bixby right now, and I'm trying to see back off to our west. I'm not seeing much yet, but I see a potential lowering. I'm trying to get out of these trees here, and as soon as I get a visual, I will let you know, and we'll try to get you a shot as well.
Radar and storm track, again, tornado warning is in effect in southern Tulsa County at this point. It is east of Glenpool now, and we're now pushing on to the Harvard and also Yale areas. So this circulation feature now over to the east, so it's pushed just on the north side. Let's go back to a live radar if we could and take a look at that. And so this is latest right in here, and let's zoom in a little bit closer if you would, Station. So it's from 131st down to 161st, and so this will take it right at this point anywhere from Harvard, and then that will extend off to the east to around the Yale area. That's where it is right now at this moment. So this is the area we're most concerned with, right in here at this point, because this radar is, again, just a few seconds old as it continues to update and give us brand new data. So I want to make sure that you see what's going on. So that is just around 131st and 121st down to 161st. We want you to be aware, strong winds, rotating area now over the areas from Yale to Harvard, just on the areas north of 151st. So again, that's our quick update coming in. So now at the Kimberly-Clark area, and so that's located right in this zone. So it's just gone over along with the Kimberly-Clark area, and that will continue to track now across the river. It's going to be moving into the South Tulsa area. And so that is the latest storm track showing where we're looking at the, let's see, what do we have? Bixby coming up basically right now. So it's in Bixby at this point. And then we'll look at from NSU, maybe on the east side, and that'll be in about 9 to 10 minutes. So this will cross areas that will take it on eventually to Broken Arrow if it holds together. Again, circulation feature, not that strong, so I don't want to get you guys too freaked out, but we could have a small tornado embedded in this thunderstorm right here in South Tulsa right at this moment. So that continues, and Ron is intercepting this storm here. Dal is on it at this point. Do you have anything?
Ron's on 41. He does have his shot up.
Ron does? Okay. And then also, Dal, if you can, give me one more update from near Bixby. Again, this is just west of Bixby at this point. We have a whole severe thunderstorm, the severe thunderstorm warning is for the whole county of Tulsa. Circulation feature doesn't look quite as impressive, but what do you have for us, Dal?
Travis, the winds are picking up, and yeah, I do agree. We've got a shot now back to the west. I do see a lowering, but I don't see anything that indicates just imminent danger. I mean, obviously people need to be in their safe place, but we've got pretty good eyes on things right now, and right now I don't see anything imminent. Winds are picking up, however, and we're going to keep a very, very close eye on it.
All right. Thanks, Dale. Great to hear. as well. Here's the latest of where it is located. So again, as we look at this 151st, heavy rains. There should be some hail in advance of it now from the Hakey Creek area. So this will be extending just on the northeast sides of Bixby. Let's come in closer on this. And the tornado warning again will be primarily for our areas and for the folks along the Arkansas River. And it'll be around 121st Street on the north side of the Arkansas River down to about 151st Street. Circulation feature literally right now just right at the Bixby area. And it doesn't look quite as strong, but it's still there. And so there could be some wind damage, and we'll talk to Dell, and you can tell Dell to cut in any time that he has any information that he needs. So it's over Memorial at this point in the Arkansas River. So that's the most likely center at this moment of where the circulation is as it continues to track to the east-northeast. And so that's going to be taking it up to 121st Street, someplace around from Mingo, and then extending off to the east a little bit further. And then as we go into Broken Arrow, we'll be around the 121st Olive area, 131st and Olive area. So that is going to move again farther to the east. Circulation is just off around the Bixby area at this point. And so these are some of the locations that will be coming up shortly. All right, let's take closer inspection the velocities if we could on live radar at this moment and see what we have going on. So this is now moving, okay, latest, it's across now the Arkansas River and is moving across areas from about 121st down to the south to 141st. So this is where we still want you to be very, very cautious. Wind potentials there. Dell, do you have anything to add while we're looking at the radar and what's going on here?
Yeah, Travis, we do see a lowering right now. It's kind of tough to see, but obviously it's getting a little bit dark. We've got the shot. I don't know if it's coming in right now. I do not see anything on the ground, though. Right now, I do not see anything on the ground, but we do have a lowering, and we're going to keep a close eye on it. Right now, the wind speeds are really pretty minimal, but we are keeping a close eye on it, have not seen any power flashes yet.
I appreciate it, Dell. And again, it's weakened considerably from what I can tell from Highway 75 and the Bixby area. So this is still, though, moving northeast. So there's going to be some hail cores in that. Stacia, you have some information. What do you have for us?
Well, Trav, they're going to let the tornado warning kind of cancel out for us, which is good since it has significantly weakened, but it's still something that needs to be watched closely. Of course, we have Dal on that for you along with Ron Morton. It's moving still to the northeast at about 40 to 45 miles per hour here. So right now, the heaviest part of this thunderstorm near Hakey Creek Park and the Creek Turnpike over towards Leisure Park, Trav, in South BA.
All right, thank you. Well, that's good news too. So National Weather Service as well, thinking that the weakening part of this storm. So we never want to cry wolf. We never want to get you not prepared or you'd say, oh, they're just talking about it. But these things do happen, especially in this type of situation where you can get an embedded storm that can be strong enough to spin up a small tornado. And you can see big tornadoes. It's the little ones that can really get you. But at this point, though, the circulation feature now on the east, northeast sides of Bixby, moving into southern portions of Tulsa County. And again, about 121st to 141st. This has been the tornado warned area, and now they're dropping the tornado warning. You can see that. We still have a very intense thunderstorm. We didn't pay a whole lot of attention to the north for you guys, just because when you're dealing with tornado, you obviously have prioritized. Very, very heavy rainfall and hail, though, continuing with this storm. Brandon is on that. Brandon, what do you have for us? What's going on with this storm here near Catoosa? You there, Brandon? Give me an update if you can.
Okay, yeah, Travis. Along 412 here, just to the west of Inola, we're getting very heavy rainfall. A lot of tremendous ponding on the roadway, so if you're traveling along 412, you need to slow down and be careful. The lightning has picked up also, Travis, tremendously within the last 5 to 10 minutes. And we ran into some pea-sized hail. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks. Appreciate it. Also, our friends at KFAQ are also simulcasting our coverage of severe weather tonight. So Brandon's got that covered. Bob's up in Claremore right now. Heavy thunderstorms going all the way up to 8 Air. Tim's still up in that area, and we'll talk to these guys as well. Ron is with the storm down to the south, and then we'll also have to find Darren in this whole group. But you can see the storm track stations put for us on this whole area of thunderstorms that's moving across the Tulsa County area. So that'll be potentially moving through Pryor at about 8:14. So this is, again, making a big move. Down the south, we haven't even talked to Vaughn, but that storm warning that he was on was canceled. And the next storm is down the south. JD is on that one near Holdenville. So we're going to watch these storms down south because you guys in Pittsburgh County and also McIntosh County, you're going to be under the gun for some really intense thunderstorms as well. But right now, back in the Tulsa area, we have two severe thunderstorm warnings. One massive severe thunderstorm warning that covers a big chunk of southeastern Tulsa County now, and then western Wagner County, and then also into southern Rogers County. And so you can see right along the leading edge of that, and then that circulation feature still showing up around the Bixby area. So very interesting to see what's happening down in here, and then also near the radar site where Brandon is located. We just talked to him, and we'll talk to Bob in a minute. But Ron is where it looks like near the Warren Theaters down there on the south side of the creek. Let's go to Ron with an update. What do you have for us, Ron? What's going on? Ron, you there? One more time. We'll try to get to you. Okay.
I'm here, Travis.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm sitting here at Aspen and Hunter and the Creek Turnpike. I am looking back to that storm back to the southwest of me here. Winds about 35, 40 in that general area, but there's a lot of heavy rain. A little bit of lightning with it, but I do not see any lowering at this time, Travis. Back to you.
Right. Good news out of that, and we were hoping that was going to be the case, but lots of heavy rainfall for you guys. This is a lot of water falling. Again, that's along the 131st Jasper area, and then that goes back on up to the north and northeast toward NSU's campus. Circulation feature at this point, if we could go back to velocities for just a second, and we'll take a look. And so they have weakened considerably, but it is still showing up a little bit in that area. So there should be some gusty winds, 30 miles per hour, maybe 40 miles per hour as this line continues to move off to the east. So this has rapidly moved from the Bixby area and pushing off to the east-northeast. So there's some good news there. We haven't had any reports coming in. We'll talk to Station in a few minutes if she's had any reports come in of any wind damage from that tornado-warned storm that was south of Glenpool. Also, heavy rains are back up to the north and to the north and east, and that's where we find at this time Brandon's along the leading edge here, and then Bob is up around the Claremore area. Bob, quick update out of Claremore. Has there been much raining or flooding?
Yeah, flooding's starting to occur on some of the roadways. As you can see from my shot up here, I'm on the east side of Claremore right now. I think that's going to be our next issue up here, some flash flooding. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. And so that's a lot of water falling up. And here's Bob up in Claremore in the upper right-hand corner. You can barely see him. But that's where he is located right now. Heaviest rains continue to move east. So in Tulsa at this moment, there's not a whole lot. It's starting to end. We have a couple of cells to the west. Heaviest rains are on the southeast sides where we did have our tornado warning. And again, if for the folks that are wanting to know, heaviest rains associated with that severe thunderstorm that produced the tornado warning still going on in southern portions of Broken Arrow at this point, and then also from really Bixby still getting some heavy rain, but we're clearing out to the west of this. Now once we clear out, there's going to be some strong northwest winds blowing on in, some 30, maybe 40 mile an hour winds, but the cells that are developing, like there's a cell like near Porter that's starting to blow up, one near Wagner, and that was what we were thinking was going to happen, and then they started to die down. We thought, well, maybe it's going to turn out to be a little bit better than we anticipated, but now they're flaring back up once again. But if you are in the east, southeast sides of Tulsa County, western Wagner County, including Coweta, there's a lot of stormy weather. Finally, we get to talk to Darren Stevens. We haven't had a chance to talk to him. Darren, give me an update on what you're doing, where you're at, and what you're running into, would you? You there, Darren? One more time, because it looks like the guys have got their phones muted for a little bit here. Are you there, Darren? Okay. We'll try to get back to him in just a minute. We're looking at his shot, though, and it looks like it's pretty good. Where is he exactly, Sawyer? Is he on 16?
Yes.
So, okay, on Highway 16. So so we're looking at the storm that's just not too far from around Taft to Porter area, and then also extending on up to near Wagner. Now, even though these storms are not severe, they're pulsing up, and so we're going to be anticipating some issues with that. Also, back up to the north. Let's go a little further to the north and to the northeast. Heavy rain, thunderstorms.
Area that he's watching
Okay. Who's that? JD, okay. And then also we have Tim still watching what's going on up in Veneta with heavy rains in some of these areas. So if just in the northeast, even though we don't have severe thunderstorm warnings, potential for flooding is in this area because we could see a couple of inches of rain very quickly for you guys from Craig County and then extending on over to Delaware County and on up into Ottawa County. So this is a very active night, which beginning of the season, you would expect that you get warm, humid, and then things start to get wild on us. But Bob is in the Claremore area, he said, with some flash flooding going on. Brandon's near the Inola area. And then Ron is situated near the Broken Arrow area with the storm still pretty heavy down around Bixby. And then, Darren, you're going to have to give us an update on your location, what you're looking at, if you would, if you're with me now.
Yeah, Travis, I can hear you now. I'm traveling eastbound on 16, just outside of Muskogee. And just on the northwest side of Muskogee, this cell has rapidly intensified. The lightning over the last 5 minutes has really increased, and so I'm watching this storm for any development that may occur. And if there's any changes on this, I'll get back to you, Travis. Back to you.
All right. Hey, thanks so much, Darren. I appreciate it. So again, getting you covered. Here's the latest look and the three-dimensional look of the storms and give you an idea where the biggest storms are located. This is, again, what Darren is watching at this point. Some of these are getting pretty big, and they're not even in the severe warned part of it. The heaviest of the storms, and you see how our area of Bixby, which did have the very intense thunderstorms, and also back to the west of Glenpool, those have weakened considerably. We just have a couple of areas that are still suspended, and we're looking for the potential for some heavy rainfall with a few of these storms. And then these also have hail cores associated with them and a lot of lightning coming out of the Porter storm right now. And then as we look back to the north, we also had kind of something interesting going on. And Stephen, I don't know, can you send that back to us, that one data point on links 1? I don't know if it's there yet. But also up into an area, this will be not too far from Childers and southwest. This is southwest of Centralia, so this is near Nowata. We got a report. This is what's tough, these little types of spin-ups, and this gives us a pretty good indication that there was something that really developed here quickly. This is about 20 minutes ago, east of Nowata on 60, and that has a pretty good chance of having been either a significant wind damage event. It could have even been a quick spin-up of an isolated tornado, and that's just east of the Cooties Bluff area, southeast of Childers, and east of Nowata on Highway 60. So that information just came into us. So very interesting on that. Okay, and that was way up to the north in an embedded area of rain and thunderstorms. So even though you're watching for everything, sometimes it's like a needle in a haystack. Back to radar real quickly with what's going on in the broader picture. Heavy rain showers and storms. This is the area that we were looking at right in here. So that's still showing up a little bit right in that zone. So we still have to keep an eye on and that's why our storm trackers are all across the area. And the showers and thunderstorms continue to show up across the entire region with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect still for southern Rogers County, southeastern Tulsa County, western Wagner County, and then that new cell that's forming down around the Porter area. Heavy thunderstorms going on. And then also JD is way down to the south, but look at the strong winds right now. Inola extending back to the really just not too far from along the river, and then that extends back down to Broken Arrow. So this should be some very strong winds of maybe 60, 70 miles an hour that are blowing out in this zone. Let's zoom in a little bit closer on that and get a better look at what's going on. And so this is again from Inola and then back to the south. And as you look at that, especially as you look at the red areas, that gives us a pretty good idea that those winds should be around 60 miles an hour or better. And that'd be anywhere from Lone Star Road and near 91st. And Lone Star Road right now, and then that extends back on up to County Line close to the river. So just be advised for what's going on there. We're also going to head back down to the south as we do have heavy thunderstorms further to the south. We've been watching that as well. Our guys have been watching that as well. And Stephen Nairns, who's here as well. Heavy to severe thunderstorms showing up on a line now that's getting really solid from around Ada to Holdenville. And you can see here's McAllister. It's in the path of it all. JD is in the midst of some of that. Is JD available to talk right now?
Yes, he is.
Okay. Hey, JD, can you give us a quick update on what you're seeing?
Yeah, I just had to turn and go back south. I was starting to get engulfed by rain. But I thought I was seeing a lowering there, and as the lightning picked up, there was definitely a wall cloud. And I was on Highway 75, north of Calvin, south of Horntown. I was looking due west. So that's, fastly approaching Highway 75. I'm southbound now, so I do not have eyes on it. I didn't see any power flashes or anything like that. Matter of fact, I couldn't see any scud rising into it, but there was definitely a nice box-shaped wall cloud hanging out of that, and it's headed right for 75 there, Travis.
Thanks, JD, and you are correct on that. Circulation feature is showing up not too far from where you were indicating. So this is what we're watching, just southeast of Holdenville, he's near the Calvin area. And then Vaughn and Vale, the brothers are not too far north of that. This is a strong line of thunderstorms, and that's going to continue to enhance as it continues to move east across Hughes County and then into Pittsburgh County. So as it's moving into Pittsburgh County and gets to Stewart, Scipio, Hayward, you guys are probably going to find some very strong winds because I don't think this is going to weaken a whole lot, probably strengthen if anything else as it starts to get a big push from a big storm system or from the big storm system and the cold air that's starting to rush in. And here's kind of an indication of how the winds are going to be looking as it starts to hit. So there is a chance that you could lose a little bit of power. It's early enough in the season. Leaves are not really out and everything's leafed out and causing the trees to stress on the amount of wind yet. We're awful close though. Man, spring blew up this past week big time. But these are some pretty big thunderstorms right now. So those will be tracking into Pittsburgh County shortly. Let's come back into Tulsa County for a little bit and tell you what's going on. Heavy thunderstorms are still showing up in the Tulsa area. We still have our severe thunderstorm warnings in effect on the east side of town. Brandon's along the leading edge of that on 412 right now. Let's zoom in on Brandon and get a closer inspection of what's going on from Inola and east of Inola. Brandon, what do you have for us?